YouTube, what's going on? I'm Tunde. Welcome back to my page. I know it's been a while since I've made like a long-term or long-form value-based video. I know I've just been focused on shorts, but that's because I've been putting my focus on other things, so I've been a little bit preoccupied. But today, I want to show you a strategy that you can implement today. Let's head to the charts. All right, guys, so we are here looking at gold, and basically what I want to show you is a strategy that is very consistent. It's very obvious. You just have to get used to reading candlesticks. So let's get into it. Let's just find a random spot on the chart so I don't know what's going on. You guys can see that. All right, so basically when you're looking at the daily or the 4 hour or really any time frame, but I would mainly suggest the daily, the 4 hour, and minimum the 1 hour. Basically what you can do is when you see, so let me show you a good example here. When you see a situation like, for example, here, and you see rejections on candlesticks, but mainly what you're looking for is a candlestick combo, right? You're looking for a candlestick combination that would, on the lower time frame, signal you to enter a trade, right? So as we're looking here on the 4 hour, this is an entry signal that I would take, right? So if we drop down, let's say 1 or 2 time frames lower, what you're going to see is a setup created, right? You're going to see a setup created, and all you have to do is wait for that setup. So now that we've seen the candlestick combination, right, with, for example, a bearish rejection candles and then a bearish engulfing. Now I'm seeing a setup. So we see a resistance, and then now we can see the resistance quickly broken and then retested. So we can't really see the retest on the 1 hour, so let's jump down to the 30-minute. Sorry about that if my phone goes off. We can see 2 entries, 2 setups here. One there and one here. And basically we see the break and then the retest of the resistance, and it digs pretty deep into it, but then you finally get an entry at, let's say, that the break of this candle or the close of this candle, and you can put your stops, let's say up here, and you've got a solid risk to reward there. But then you also have one here. Now I'm not sure if it'll give me all right, cool. So you see how we very slightly broke this support, very slightly, and then retested it, and then got a continuation entry down here, right? whether you could have taken an aggressive entry if you liked, or a more conservative entry, whichever one, right? But the same thing up here. We broke this zone. We broke the zone, and then we came back into it. This is more like a fake out, if you will, but then we created lower highs and a lower low, and then you could have taken your entry anywhere around here. All right, very simple, very easy to see strategy. It does take some time to get your eyes used to seeing it, but the main thing about this strategy is you want to get used to seeing what an entry candle combination looks like. So an entry candle combinations look like, or candlestick combos pretty much look like you have a long, let me not use that. Actually, I'm going to use that. So you have a candlestick, and the candlestick is a bullish candlestick, and this bullish candlestick may be a strong candle, right? It may be a strong candle. And then you have another candlestick that is much weaker, right? And you can see that it's much weaker because you have, and let's say this is bearish. It doesn't really matter though. And then you have another candle that is strong, a strong bearish engulfing, right? So in this is just one example of this is a 3 candlestick combination where you have basically your engulfing candle as your entry signal, but this is on the 4-hour time frame, and unless you're swing trading, you're probably not entering on the 4-hour time frame. Okay. Another candlestick combination where I would enter looks like, and these are bearish entries, looks like, let's say you've got a weak bullish candle, and then you've got kind of the same thing on the bearish candle. Stretch this out. You've got the same thing, but then you've got another bearish candle that essentially right. So then what my entry signal is these 2 bearish candles. Okay. Those 2 bearish candles, right? So, and then the same thing goes for the opposite, right? Same thing goes for the opposite in terms of bullish candles. Okay. So you want to pay attention to those. I'll leave those on there. You want to pay attention to those. And they come in many more different forms. All right, and obviously there's more to this strategy overall, but you can start to implement this. Okay, you can start to implement this. So I see another one right here. Where we've got a strong bullish candle, and then 2 rejection candles, and then a bullish engulfing. So we go down to, let's say, the 30-minute, we drop down 2 time frames. All right, sorry about that. And what do we see? We see a structure created, broken, and retested, right? We see a structure created and now broken, retested, entry, take it down. My entry would have been here. Your stop loss, you can put it, wherever you want. And it turns out to be a great risk to reward, and even gave another, entry there. Even give you another entry here off of this rejection on the lower time frame, right? But that's the 30-minute entry. Gave you another, and guys, it just continues to work. It continues to work over and over. So let's do the replay and see where we can find another entry candlestick. Okay, so here's a bullish engulfing. It's not super high probability, but there is a big rejection to the upside with this long wick. So let's just see if there is a setup there, just for the setup's sake. We're not really looking at the entire picture. We're just looking at the setup, the strategy, if you will. So let's drop down to the 30-minute. And it's not extremely clear. It's not super clear. So it takes some experience, but basically you want to identify where your engulfing candle is, and then you want to look for the pullback from there. And you'll find your structure. You look for your structure in there. All right. Where's the structure created? Well, here's some structure right there. There's support, and pull back into support. We had a break, long wick, right? Long wick. But then we had another engulfing, and we still had this support right there. Finally came down into it. It's rejecting. So let's go to the 30-minute. We see rejection candles. Maybe we'll go down to the 15-minute for an entry. To look for an entry, we see rejection. Now let's wait and look for basically the same thing. Let's look for an entry candle. Entry candlestick combination. That can be one. That can be an entry, right? And you can put your stops wherever you believe is the safest. And then look, target. Like the high is a good risk to reward, a 2-to-1, for example. And let's just see if it plays out. It's not a perfect strategy, but it works. And boom, there you go. There you go. That's another one. And let's look for another. Ooh, interesting. There's another in the same spot, right? There's another in the same spot where you have strong candle, rejection candle, then a engulfing candle, right? Bearish engulfing candle. This is a 3 candle combination. Let's jump down to the, let's mark out where our bearish engulfing ended. And let's jump down to the 30-minute. Let's just see if it works. It might not work, but let's just see if it does. And what do we have? We have structure. Well, that's where our bearish engulfing ended, but it's also where our structure is, and we can see that this structure reaches back from here, right? So let's play it out and see if we get another retest. That looks like an entry candle. So if you want, you can take the entries there and put it above, wherever you feel safe, and search for a 2-to-1. Oh, that one didn't work out. But we've come back and it looks like we're rejecting. It looks like we're rejecting the level. So let's see. Remember, not everything is going to work perfectly. Boom. There it was. Should have waited for the retest, right? Should have waited for the retest and rejection. So now let's see. Now let's see if we get another. Boom. There you have it. Guys, that is a very easy strategy that you can use. I just showed you. I don't know what's happening. I don't know anything beforehand. We can just do another one just to show you that I'm not cherry picking. Nothing like that. Turned out to be a big move. So again, I'm just looking for what I would look for on the lower time frame as an entry confirmation, right? Okay. Here is an entry confirmation that I would take on the lower time frame. So here's where my engulfing ended. And I'll give you a little bit more sauce on the strategy in just a minute, right? But where's our structure being created? I see it being created right here, right? I see it being created right here, and we're basically just looking for a retest. And it looks like it broke it and retested it already, so maybe we missed the entry. But let's see if there's another. All right, there's another retest and rejection. Another big rejection. Let's go for an aggressive entry here. Let's go for an aggressive entry. We don't have to have an aggressive entry. Definitely don't, but let's just see. All right, and then there is your entry confirmation. Take another entry there. Tighten your stops. Let's see what happens. Could be a loser. Okay, we got a loser, but we just got wicked out. And if we had, and so that first entry got wicked out, but the second one is still open, and we are rejecting this level. That's the important thing. And all right, so this would have been a break-even trade. We went 1-to-1, so you hit your first target. And then it went back. So it's not perfect, but let's see if you would have gone down to the lower time frame, like I like to do. If you had gone down to the lower time frame, let's leave that there. I would have found an entry let's say I would have found this entry to be fair, to be frank, and my stop loss may not have been this big wick here. I would have put it around the average of the swing highs, and then there would have been a 1 to 1.5, right? So it still would have come out to a break even. Let's look for one more. It honestly looks like it can still work out, but that's all right. Let's find one more. And this is trading in some serious consolidation, and it's still got some wins. Boom, look at that. That would have worked out short term. Look at this big, huge news candle. Wow, it's another news candle, just filling up all that free range. Honestly, there's probably a setup in there that just didn't. There's a setup in here. It just didn't pull back to it, right? It didn't pull back to it, but there's a setup in here, and let's take a look at it. Basically, the setup is the support and it just didn't pull back to it. But you know, if you go down to the 15-minute, and if you go down to maybe the 5-minute, maybe even the 3-minute, it actually did pull back to, broke the structure and came back to it. So now let's break it down just a little more, or give you a little bit more sauce on it, or a little bit more detail on it. Basically, what you are looking for is a structure to be created, right? And then you're looking for the structure to break. Let me do it in bearish. You're looking for a small structure, a minor structure to be created, and then you're looking for the structure to be broken and then retested. This is nothing but a break and retest strategy. Reject and take it down to the next destination, right? That is what this strategy is in a nutshell. It's just the way to identify it before it takes off on you is to identify it by entry candlestick combinations, engulfing candlesticks with rejection candles prior to, okay, right before them. All right, I'll give you one more bonus, and then I don't want to make this video too long. One more bonus. Actually, I'll give you two bonuses. I'll give you some bonus sauce on it, and then one more setup, and then a little a secret. Okay. This looks like a combination. Kind of. We have a strong candle and then rejection, 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 bearish engulfing. Now, I don't like the wick, so that means that there's some support right here. And then the next candle was really weak. So I don't want to play another 4-hour candle out. But what do we see? Structure having been created, and then broke, and now retested, and now rejecting. Now rejecting. It's being held up by this support. But let's say you took your entry, and this is like 100 pip stop, so I don't know if you want to do that, right? But there's some sauce that you can add to it. There's some stuff you can add to it, right? You can determine whether you can add a trend line if you want and determine whether this is going to respect the trend line by just watching it. Didn't quite respect the trend line, but it is rejecting. And guess what? So it came up to the other level of rejection, the other structure. So if you lost and got taken out of this one, this is an entry candle. That's an entry setup. Let's have about 50 pips. Right, and some people probably want it smaller because that's about a 30 pip stop. It's pretty tight, right? And then what we can anticipate is a break and potential retest of the same trend line. But let's not think about the trend line. Let's think about the support here. All right, too small of a stop loss. That should have been the stop. But as you can see, I'm being completely transparent in terms of what I think about it. Okay, so it was another loser, but you can see that it works. You get the idea, right? You can see that if we break, once you get those setups, once you get those candlestick combinations, you see a break, a retest, and a rejection. You see a structure created, a break, a retest of it, a rejection, and a continuation, right? Another structure created, retest, rejection, push away. This pushed back into this, and a pull away. Okay. What is the other sauce? I didn't include it. I didn't consider it. I just started picking out. I mean, if I was really doing a full analysis, I'd have said, okay, this is a triple bottom. All right, I'm not going to sell into this, right? This is most likely a 4-hour engulfing, right? It was at one point, but it didn't close, right? But one other thing is follow the trend, right? Follow the trend, look for breaks of structure, look for higher highs, lower lows. And that is basically how you're going to, that's basically how you're gonna find this strategy really useful. And I've been using it and it's been working well. So guys, I'm glad. Hopefully you guys found this valuable and insightful. And until next time, guys, we will see y'all later.